What's up, y'all? Sparta here, and I just want to do a quick video on basically a feature focus of the LG V20. Now, I've had this phone for about 5 days, but I've been using 5, 6 days, but I've been using actually it's 6 days. Tomorrow would be a week, but I've been using the LG phone since the G2, and not a lot has changed honestly as far as the features that they pack. But yeah, I just want to focus on what LG phones do, or the V20 specifically. Now, what the G2 essentially had, which was actually a really cool thing since they had all the buttons on the back on the G2, was that you can double tap to wake the screen. And there's a little bit of delay there. I'll show you why, but it essentially makes it so you can double tap on pretty much any part of the screen to turn on the display and to turn off on the home screen, which is what they had in the G2. You can essentially, my bad. You can essentially tap in any like wider space in the home on the home screen when you don't have a lot of like open space to turn off the display, or you can just double tap in the status bar and it'll do it like that. Now, the reason that there was a bit of a delay when I do it like this is because I have knock code enabled, which is a thing they had with the G Flex, the original G Flex that they added with the G2. And essentially, when your screen is off, you can just do a knock code like this and it'll unlock. It does it. It does it actually really well. They improved it. The V10 didn't do it that well, nor did the G5. The G5 was probably the worst. And this isn't a knock on the G5. I like the G5 a lot. I think it's an underrated phone, but it wasn't really that well with doing knock code one-handed. And with this, I can do it basically easy. Now, another thing that LG phones have had pretty much for a while that people didn't necessarily know about because nobody uses LG phones, sadly enough, but what they've had themes since the G2, probably since the Optimus G, which is the G1. They've had themes. They haven't had a theme store until like the G3, but they've had it well before everyone else. It's not as robust because nobody has bought LG phones. But essentially all you do is do this and it'll just set it back. And it'll just set the theme, obviously. But yeah, you just do that. I'm setting it back to the dark theme because I like that theme a lot. Oh, now I gotta set my wallpapers back. Fuck. Let me be back real quick. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to set my wallpapers back. I like the way my wallpapers are. But yeah. What else? And you could also, now since there's like no app drawer, for some reason with this specific version of LG's launcher, you can't set custom you can't set custom icon packs or use like icon packs you've downloaded from the Play Store. So unable to do that, I'd have to just go to the home and app drawer version, which is easy. It's not hard, and it's already on the phone downloaded. But essentially, what you can do, and I'll show you what to look for when you're looking for an icon pack for LG phones in particular. But come on, man, shit. When you're looking for an icon pack specifically for LG phones, make sure to look out for it saying it supports the LG launcher, which I know this one does because I purchased I don't know what the fuck I just said there. See, it says LG Home right there. Put the fucking phone to focus. It says LG Home. And it says issues. It says issues like that because, I mean, with the stock launcher, with the one without the app drawer, you can still set like, you can still set the icon pack on there, but you can't like do your own custom. Like, say if you want to have the contacts be a specific icon. What the fuck? You can't do this with it, which is weird. But essentially what you do is you go into, how the fuck? I'm trying to remember how to set it. I probably got to go to theme. No, I know you have to do that, but go to theme. I'll probably have to, what the fuck? It's different on here than it was. Apply. Oh, I gotta do this first, right? It's been a while. I haven't used. What? 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 Let's try that again. How the fuck? I know it works because I've done it. Not on here specifically, but let's try. Let's actually try doing this. Because normally it would show up in your themes and it's not showing up. Hold on, let me check real quick. Alright, y'all, so I couldn't even find out how. I don't know why. It must have to be updated or something because I don't know. I'm doing it the exact same way I did it on the G5, the V10, the G4, even on the LG tablet I gave my mom, and it's not even like working, but it's whatever. Just know that if you ever want to change an icon, you can just do it. You can just do it custom. Like go to Google and look for some HD icon packs and images, and you can do it like that. It's more manual, but it's also more custom, which is the beauty of Android. Sorry for the flare there. I decided to do this in the daytime, but since I'm off work, but yeah. That's that. Now, what else do I want to talk about? Yeah. Trying to think. What is a good thing to talk about? Now, another thing I could bring up is in the gallery you can actually like lock pictures and whatnot. Like say if you have lucrative things like, oh, I don't know, certain things you don't want your girlfriend to see, not other women and stuff, like porn. I'm just gonna say it, porn. But say I want to lock this picture, right? Could go in, I can press lock, and it'll lock it. Or say I want to lock more than one. Say I want to lock all of these, all 1,000 of these pictures and videos, right? I can do that. Now, I'm clearly not going to do that. Now, let me show you how exactly you would, you could show locked files. You could have it do a pattern, a not code, or just a simple, what the fuck? Just a simple, a pin. Or you could just use your fingerprint, and it'll just do it like that. Yeah, I have lucrative stuff in here. Whatever. I'm a dude. My girlfriend knows, but yeah, you could do that. Um, then go to your what? Oh yeah, no. Since this phone has on-screen buttons and not every app supports immersive mode, like it took forever for like Mortal Kombat X, for example, to support immersive mode. It does now, but you can hide your touch buttons, your software buttons, in almost any app. For some reason, you can't do it in LG's gallery, but you could do it in any app that you download that you want immersive mode for, like say a game, and it doesn't support it. You can set it to do so. Now another thing I want to talk about is smart settings. You know, cause say when you're using like a certain app, you want that app to open when you're like connecting headphones or connecting a Bluetooth speaker or whatever. You can set it so that I have it set so when I plug in hardware headphones, it'll open Tidal if I can find the headphone jack. And it does it instantly. It's actually pretty fast at doing it. And I'll set up something for my Bluetooth for a Bluetooth device. Do I actually have to have it? Oh, I got to enable it. You could just, let's say for right now, I want to open YouTube. And I'll just turn on my headset right now. And it just does it like that. This is really quick. The Google Pixel versus the S7. I'll look at that shit later. And another thing I want to give kudos to LG for, no matter like what Bluetooth headset you use, it'll show a battery indicator about showing how much battery you have left. Something that a lot of Apple products with Bluetooth with every something that a lot of Bluetooth like headsets keep exclusive to iPhones and shit. LG actually has it coded in their software for that. It does for it. I'm sorry. I need something to eat and something to drink. Has it coded in their fucking skin that it'll just show it on there, and it's accurate too. It's not bullshit. This phone will stay focused. Let me turn this off. Now another thing that I want to talk about specifically in the feature focus is the second screen. Now I touched on signatures and whatnot in my impressions video, but actually I'll keep my Bluetooth headset connected. I should have just kept that open because I'm actually going to use that after. But for like, you could set certain apps that you use frequently up in the dock right here. And you can set any app, obviously. It would be dumb if you couldn't set any app. But they launch pretty instantly. YouTube Creator Studio isn't very well optimized on Android, which is very ironic. But it does it really fast. It switches really fast. Except for right there for some reason. But another thing I want to show is that, see the little pin right there? say you want to close all your apps, but you don't want to close like all but two of your apps. You pin them, you press the close all, it'll keep those two right there. Something that no other OEM is doing, which Google has and had started in Lollipop, but it's different. Because in Lollipop they had it so that it just keeps one app on the screen. Like literally, you can't like go from you can't leave that screen. You can't go to the home screen. You can't exit that app and go to the home screen. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that. I know that because I had the Nexus 4 and I tried it on there. It's cool, but it's not as intuitive as it is on here, to be honest. Now, what else is there? Shit. When your screen is off, for some reason, when the screen is off, the shortcuts up here act really choppy. I don't know why. That could be addressed in a software update, but in here, it's fast, it's smooth, it doesn't feel bad at all. And as I addressed with in the impressions, you could set your frequent contacts up here, and let you call in or text. What else? The only thing I don't really, the only thing that kind of bothers me is that when you take a screenshot, it doesn't do the second screen, which is whatever. It's kind of a nitpick, but it would have been nice to have that. The V10 didn't do it either, but it would have been pretty cool to have that. But so that when you post it to Google Plus, post it to Facebook, Instagram, whatever, Twitter, people like, how do you get that up there? You just say, my phone has a second screen. Which is kind of dumb. It's kind of nerdy, but whatever. Now, I'll talk about the camera a little bit, but I'll talk about the lock screen first. When the screen is off, not lock. Oh, yeah. Actually, yes, lock screen. So, what Samsung had for the longest time, they had on your lock screen, and LG had it for a long time too, and they didn't have it in the G4 or the G5, which is weird. No, I think they did have it in the G4. They didn't have it in the V10 or the G5, or at least it was very hard to find. But you could set app shortcuts. Say you want to play Bleach Brave Souls. You constantly need your calculator out. Or you want Chrome Dev. It's right there. It's right there on your lock screen. And bada boom. And it'll just open like that. I don't know why I did it like that, but now personally, I don't need them because, quite frankly, I could just use the second screen for that. But I know I'm twitching my fingers. And you could also set where you want the clock, whether you want it centered or you want it in the upper left. I prefer it in the center. I like a big clock so I can actually see it. And it also has weather animations too. It doesn't work as good as it did on the G2. I think it never worked as good since the G2. Because the G2, it would do it for everything. It would do it for when it's sunny. It would do it when it's raining, when it's cloudy, when it's thundering. It hasn't been doing much but being sunny and kind of cool in Minnesota right now, but nonetheless, it doesn't do it as well. Which is whatever. It's a minor thing. It's nothing to like be like, this phone is whack about. Because again, the only other phones that do it are HTC phones. But